How do you make business problems disappear? Wrap them in bacon. For business owners, marketing execs, and anyone trying to grow your business, pump your profits, and make more while doing less, welcome to Bacon Wrapped Business with Brad Costanzo. Sizzling hot business advice guaranteed to make you fat. Profits? Every week our chefs will serve you proven recipes for ramping up your revenue. Now here's your host, Brad Costanzo.
Hey, this is Brad. Welcome back to Bacon Wrapped Business. I've got a great episode for you today, and I think it's one you're going to really enjoy. I'm going to try to open your mind and crack it open to some new ideas with my guest, Josh Felber. So Josh is an interesting guy. He's got a ton of experience, both from running like 15 different businesses, being a high-performance coach, and his mission is to help over 100 million people design, develop, and deliver their passion and expertise to the world so that they can have the time, freedom, and live the lifestyle of their own design, as well as make more money. Now, he's co-authored 2 books, one with Brian Tracy, who you may know who he is, and one with Steve Forbes, as well as an executive producer on a documentary about Peter Diamandis called Visioneer, and the Miami Heat wheelchair basketball team video called The Rebound. Now, Josh has appeared as a guest expert on TV, and he's been seen on NBC, CBS, ABC, and Fox, and his biography was picked up by the E! Channel. He's also an active contributor to Entrepreneur.com, Inc.com, Business Insider, and Forbes.com. So you've probably seen Josh's work around, and if not, you're going to want to search it out. So Josh, welcome to the show, my brother.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate it, Brad. Excited to be on Bacon Wrapped Business.
Yeah.
Favorite things.
Thanks. So, as I was telling you earlier, I was reading a little bit more about your backstory. It's really interesting because you've done so much. I mean, is it true you ran like 15 different businesses in multiple different industries and niches and offline, online?
Yeah, not all in one shot, but 15 different companies over the years since I was 14 years old, for sure.
I was going to say, if you ran those all in one shot, it's like, what are you, Warren Buffett? But, no, that's great. So tell me about the business that you're in right now, because I know you're doing high performance coaching, but you've also got a supplement business. I mean, what is your primary focus these days?
Definitely. No, one of my biggest things right now I'm really focused on is helping entrepreneurs, helping people transform their lives, kind of move themselves to that next level. Because as even entrepreneurs, even just the normal stay-at-home mom trying to raise the kids and bring them up and nurture them and everything else, we kind of get stuck in a certain mindset, a certain level of performance. And one of the things that I've tried to really do is start connecting with those people and helping them move to that next level of performance. And I've worked with a lot of different high achievers, CEOs, and different actors and musicians and things. And it's, everybody, a lot of times you get those other high performers out there like, man, I'm at a 9 or a 10. I'm already at the top level. But then when you really start to peel that onion back and you start looking, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe we're a 9, but how can we get to a 10? Or maybe we're a 10. How can we push ourselves, to that next level? And so it really provides a big sense of fulfillment for myself to really give back and to really connect with people to help them start to transform their lives for the better. Finding that time and finding that freedom, to do what they want.
Right. So when you're working with people to help transform their lives, these entrepreneurs, are you working more? Do you find yourself working more with people who are just getting going on the entrepreneurial journey, or ones who are pretty well established and are hitting those roadblocks? I mean, I know you probably work with both, but is there one that you find that are more attracted to entrepreneurial transformation?
It seems that I kind of went back. We were looking at the statistics, who we have, who we've worked with, and it comes from like you said, it ends up being in all areas. It's some of them are not even entrepreneurs. It's just, hey, I need a change in my life. I need to, I'm stuck in a cubicle at work every day, and I just don't know how to get from that and move myself into entrepreneurship, or even find just more time and freedom to be home with my family because I'm working 60 hours a week and not getting paid what I'm worth, kind of a thing. And so it's how do we help those people find the courage as well as then find the energy in their lives and help them push those to that next level, as well as, like you said, Brad, is entrepreneurs is as an entrepreneur, it's like, okay, I'm taking those risks, I'm out there, but how can I be more productive in my day? How can I, go into each day and, have intent behind it? Because a lot of times even with entrepreneurs, as we find that you're kind of just moving along the course,
Oh, yeah.
You don't have that intention. Is like, okay, what is my intention for today going to be? What am I looking to get out of the day? What is my day going to accomplish? And so, really working, whether it's entrepreneurs or just, like I said, somebody trying to break out of that 9-to-5 job and become an entrepreneur, that provides the best sense of accomplishment, for myself, as well as, seeing them and helping them move to those next levels.
Right. So when you are looking at the clients and the people that you deal with, regularly, what do you kind of see as the biggest or most common, I'll call it a mental hurdle, roadblock, frustration? Because I know that, and I've done a lot of work, I still do a lot of work with my own self on this, and I know that the common frustrations are, there's procrastination, there's fear of failure, there's fear of rejection, there's fear of looking bad, there's lack of clarity, there's so many hurdles. But what do you find is that one kind of common denominator that a lot of people face? And then I'll follow this up with, what do you help them do to make that a big shift, like a really big shift that my listeners can go, holy, like, I want you to help shift them. Like, so what's that biggest hurdle or frustration, and how do you help them shift specifically?
For sure, Brad. There's usually 5 areas that, I try to take a look at. And if we can move points in all these 5 areas, then it's going to definitely give them a lot more momentum moving forward and kind of push and help them push to that next level. So, like you said, clarity was one of them. Is really helping people find clarity in their life. What are they clear on? What makes them happy in life right now? Is there reasons why they don't have more clarity in their life? Certain areas that maybe they are super clear in. Why is that? And really start to understand that part of it. The second thing we look at is energy. Do we have, are we waking up, or do we have the energy, in the morning, or do we have the energy in the middle of the day, after lunch, and we start feeling sluggish and I'm tired. What kind of different things that we can do to keep our energy at peak levels? Excuse me. The third thing we take a look at is courage. And so with courage, that may be areas in our life right now where we may not be bold, or areas in our life where we may not be taking action when we should be, or maybe even reaching out and connecting with people. For myself, I have a list of the top 100 people that I want to connect with, and that I want to be able to, share their wisdom, at some level, and help try to bring more value to them as well. And so, do you have the courage, to find those and reach out to those kind of people? Or do you even just have the courage to communicate and talk to your wife and share your feelings and be vulnerable, or vice versa with your husband? And so, courage is a really important topic that we ended up finding a lot of people to help them push through that. Then productivity is a major point. So with productivity, how productive are you in your life right now? Are you surfing Facebook and Twitter and you're getting stuck on that for 2 or 3 hours? Or are you coming home and sitting in front of the TV? Or even as entrepreneurs, we're all high achievers. What are we doing first things in our morning when we first get up? Are we getting sucked into other people's distractions and participating in reactive mode? Or are we being proactive and setting up our day to focus on our projects and our what we need to get accomplished that day?
Nice. So you said something that I want to expound on. So I asked you to say, hey, give me some really specific things we can overcome, what they can overcome there. But one of the things you hit on a hot button for myself, because one of the things that I feel is that A, I'm really good at, and B, I'm always being proactive to do, and I think it's more important now in this economy than it ever has been, but it's building those authentic and deep connections with the people around you? Like, so you mentioned you have your top 100 people you want to connect with. Like, I know I personally found that, you can move mountains when you have the right connections with the right people.
Sure.
And you're doing things for the right reason. And I think that's, your clarity behind the reason that you want to make these connections, the energy that you do to it, et cetera, all goes into creating these connections. But I want to ask you about your strategies for connecting with those top 100 people, or just anybody. But let's work on that list. So you've got your top 100 people you want to connect with. So first question is, how does somebody get on that list? Like, what is it about somebody that makes you want to put them on I got to get to know this person?
Sure. No, great question. For me, one of the very first things when I was 14 years old, I read Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, as well as Unlimited Power with Tony Robbins. And in Tony Robbins' book, he talked about, putting down your goals, everything you wanted to do. And so I started to create all those different lists. And so that's when I first started my list. Hey, who do you want to connect with? How do you want to? And, so I had, people like Donald Trump and Tony Robbins and Brian Tracy and a lot of different people, for me at that time, were role models or mentors. And, I thought, well, hey, if I could even just connect with them and pull some insights from them to help better myself, that would be really cool. So that's how my list got started. Mm-hmm. And over the years, I've refined it as I've learned about other people that have, Peter Diamandis was on my list, and, I got to connect and meet with him, as well as, participate in helping him bring an awesome documentary to life and everything. And so, for me, how somebody gets on that list is, I guess, let's see, let me think about it, is really just, do I look up to them? Are they a role model? Are they creating more value? Are they helping, create more value for other people in their lives? As well as, are they somebody that I can connect with and help spread their message or help spread what they're doing, because I believe in what they're doing.
Cool. And, so how do you, not to interrupt there, but
go ahead.
I'm going to interrupt anyway. So how do you go about personally, what is your strategy there to connect? I mean, sometimes I know it's as easy as, hey, I know somebody who knows this person, but right. If it's somebody you don't know, and especially the more successful they are, usually the more in demand their time is, do you have a strategy for connecting with people that you employ that really works for you, that you don't mind sharing?
Sure. I think it goes simple as back is, if you don't know them, is cold calling. When I was 14, I was starting my first computer business, and I was like, okay, I want to connect with Donald Trump. How do I connect with him? So I wrote him this letter and asked him about investing in my company at the time, and sent him a letter. And I think it was probably a couple months down the road, I got a letter back from Trump. And, obviously my business didn't fit what his portfolio was looking for at the time, but, he sent a letter back, and maybe it was somewhat of a canned letter, but, he signed it and everything.
That's still cool.
And so it was cool. So for me, it started, hey, you just reach out and try connecting with people. You cold call them, whether it's sending them an email and. Okay,
but let's explore that. Let's explore that a little bit, because let's say I'm on your top 100 list. I'm
for sure
a really successful guy. If you just cold call me or send me a letter and ask me for something, obviously, I mean, I have a feeling, you don't just say, hey, Brad, I've been wanting to connect with you. Will you give me some money or whatever, right?
Right.
I guarantee I know that you're a lot more smooth than that. But what would be your strategy? Let's say that I was on your top 100, and the fact that I'm, I guess I'm not on the top 100 anymore, because now we're having this conversation.
We're on there now.
Check
sure.
me off, right? So, no, but what would be your strategy with me? Let's say that I was a person on there. What might be your first volley to get their attention? Besides, even if you are cold calling or being introduced, like, where's your reason why you want to connect?
Definitely. I mean, what I've done in the past is just, I'll send an email and says, it's real simple. It's like, hey, look, I love what you're doing. You've been a role model mentor. I just kind of talk to them on how I feel and what my thoughts are about them and how they've impacted my life. And tell them, I say, look, I'd really love to, help you spread and create more value for others, what you're doing. invite them. Recently I've been invite them to participate and be on on my online show, and and so for me that's an outlet that I can help them spread their message.
Yeah, that's powerful, isn't it? That's one of the main reasons that I created this show, was so that I can use it as a vehicle to meet really inspirational people and people that I normally wouldn't meet or have a reason to connect with. But it's amazing when you have a show like this, as you know, because you've got and we'll talk about that in a second, your own TV show or podcast. You got a little bit of everything, so it gives you a platform for which to connect with influencers, and that's great. You say that too, because that's exactly what I'm doing with this.
No, definitely. And that's one of the biggest things is, the more that I can help them, and it's not like, hey, I want you to do this for me. It's like, how can I help you? How can I deliver more value to you? And that's kind of usually the focus of what the email is.
So do you have any stories that are really worth sharing? Top of mind, I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. I didn't ask you this earlier, but kind of top of the mind stories of a connection you made like that, like a top, and then it became an amazing opportunity, friendship, business relationship, or whatever. Like, do you have any of those like amazing connection stories?
Let's see.
If you don't, that's off the top of your head. That's okay. I did put you on the spot.
I've had the actual fortune. I've been blessed to really connect with a lot of people.
Right.
From Brendan Burchard to Dean Graziosi to Peter Diamandis and a lot of it's. I don't think there's actually been. It's not like it's just hard. I'm just truthful and I'm honest when I send them the email, and it's amazing. Or even on Facebook, a lot of times if you send them an email, they don't get back because they get so many emails.
Oh, yeah.
It's going right on, and I send them a direct message on Facebook.
Yeah, and even Twitter works as well. I've done that with several people. You throw them a little mention, and then and the nice part about those Twitter mentions and connecting there is people know you're limited to like 160 characters, so you're not going to send somebody this huge long ass email that's they're going to have to read and respond to.
Right.
Who are you? So who are a couple of the people that? Is there anybody off the top of your head once more that you're looking to meet right now? And I ask this because either I may know them or one of my listeners may know them. And I actually like to ask this question of all my guests: who out there, is kind of on your radar?
Sure. I've been trying to connect with Tim Ferriss.
Okay.
So he's kind of on the top that I've been, really trying to get connected to, that I just haven't been able to directly connect with. So I'm hoping at 25K here in October, I'll get to dial in with him and connect with him there.
Yep.
But, so yeah, Tim's probably on the top of my list.
Excellent. So now, when you are working with the entrepreneurs making the shifts, what do you think is the key to making it all come together? Is there anything that kind of makes that square peg fit in that square hole for entrepreneurs? Is it a lot of little steps, or is there anything that you do with them that helps them really break through?
Sure. I guess more from the high performance side of things is, we take people through a 12-week program, and it's really focused on, digging deep and really helping them, look at their life and where they are right now. And I think as entrepreneurs, and I've done it myself many times, as you get so focused on building your business, scaling it, growing it, scaling it, maybe even sometimes in the initial stages, you're just, how am I going to make the next part of revenue come in, to cover payroll?
Yeah.
We've all been there. And so it's helping them move past that focus and help move to that next level of actually working on the business instead of in the business. And I think when they make that transition, that's when the magic can really happen. Yeah.
It's interesting you say that because, as I mentioned offline, I just finished hosting my 2-day mastermind called the Boardroom Mastermind this past Thursday and Friday.
Sure.
And one of the things I noticed, so first of all, and I'm doing a podcast episode about this exact topic, which is like the kind of the 4 pillars of a of a great mastermind, which is
Awesome.
which is the people, and when I mean pillars, I mean what people go to a mastermind to really get out of it. And the basics are, they go for, marketing and growth tips and tactics and strategies. That's all the fun stuff, like the candy. Ooh, what's these new ideas? Then the other stuff I call the necessary evils, operations. Nobody got into business because we wanted to deal with HR and raising money and finance and scaling. No, that's not the fun part of business. Nobody gets into it for that, but it's a necessary evil. And you better master it, otherwise you won't be in business for very long. Otherwise you're just an idea guy. And then obviously there are the people and the connections and the relationships you build, which is one of the primary reasons people join a mastermind, is for the access. And then the last one, and interestingly, it's the mindset of needed and the issues, the crap that we all deal with. So that was the two biggest themes that came up at my recent mastermind here, and as they have at every single meeting, is how do I scale? How do I find the right people? How do I take myself out of working on, in the business so damn much? And what mindset do I need to shift in order to do this right? Because what I'm doing right now isn't working, or I'm so scared about, am I able to make payroll or not? Or am I doing the right thing? But it's really funny. It's like the kind of the stuff, like the people and the marketing tips, that's what people get into it for. But what I've found that they really get sucked into and are attracted to is the operations and mindset. It's I wouldn't have guessed that prior to having started this, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. Those are all the areas you kind of hit.
Yeah, exactly. So on the mindset, are there any exercises, experiences that you create, things that people can do in order to either get, more clarity, be more productive, have more energy? Just, pick one out of there of something that you really like. Because I've also found that people have the breakthroughs not from what they hear,
right,
but what they do.
Do, for sure.
So can you share with me anything that, you kind of have some people do that helps them experience that shift?
No, definitely. What one of the first things is, we really talk about is how people handle their mornings, manage their mornings. And, one of the biggest things that's helped for me over the years, as well as a lot of the entrepreneurs that I work with and just people that are looking for more higher performance, is a specific morning routine.
I love the fact. Wait, let me preface this. I love the fact that you're saying this for 3 reasons. A, I saw your blog post today. Is exactly about that. So that's, and what's extra cool.
That's awesome.
So do you know Hal Elrod he wrote the book Miracle Morning?
Yes. Yeah, I know Hal. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm interviewing Hal this afternoon.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and I read his book. And I read his book, Miracle Morning. This is not to plug him, but about a month and a half ago. And I've always known I've needed a morning routine, but I'm not a morning guy typically. And I just put it off. And for the past 6 weeks, almost without fail, I have to say almost, I've done it, and it has made a tremendous shift. So, expound on that.
No, definitely.
But it's perfect timing.
Post today, and I didn't even know you were going to bring this up. So
perfect
works out
timing.
well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's definitely the morning routine. And the coolest thing is my kids. Right now my boys are 5 and my daughter will be 7, and they do the exact same thing every single morning as myself. So trying to get them to have that same mindset. But one of the biggest things for me with the whole morning routine, I've never really been like a big meditation person where I can sit down and meditate for 20 minutes. And a lot of high achievers like myself and your high energy, it's hard for us.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I do CrossFit. That's that's my workout. That's my relaxed day. So the meditation part was the biggest piece that I was like holding, that wasn't ever part of my routine. So a few months ago, I've been working with Jim Quick, brain training guy, and I went to one of his masterminds where we were at his house for a couple of days and got to really do a lot of stuff. But he brought in the owner of a company called Muse, M-U-S-E, and they make this headband that goes on your head, and it hooks to your iPhone, through Bluetooth, and then what it does is it helps you create focus and helps you create concentration. And for me, it's been awesome because it plays this mute or this kind of this ocean noise, and if your neural pathways start getting distracted and off, the focus and
shocks you, right?
Well, yeah. No, so it starts to play this really like stormy, like rain and thunder and everything else. And then as soon as you start to instantaneously, as soon as you start to really focus and get your brain relaxed and concentrated again, it drops back down and you hear birds and all this good stuff.
Really? So, okay. Cool.
And it's awesome. And so and you only have you can do it 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes as different intervals. And I've done it in that 3 to 5 minute range, and it's been amazing the significance that it's created in 3 to 5 minutes. And
really?
So it's hands down. And like I said, I probably could sit there and meditate for 20 minutes, but just trying to compact and get everything done and get the kids and stuff done in the morning, that works perfect for me. I usually set it on 5 minutes, and before you know it, it's done. It's over with. And and it's cool because it scores you. It kind of gamifies everything.
That's
so you're
cool.
like, oh, sweet, I'm going to do better next time. But funny story was when I was at Jim's house, we were doing this, and there was about 10 of us, and they had us all put the headbands on. We were doing it, and we got done. And so the owner was coming around. She was checking them. She's like, wow, you scored. And I think I scored it was right around an 80%, 79 to 83% range. And she's like, wow, that's just amazing. She goes that most people don't score more than like a 40 or 50% the first time unless they're big meditators. I'm like, no. And the only thing that I could think of, and I told her this, was I own a nutrition company as well. So we make a product called Brain Boost that has natural herbs in it, but it helps create and manage your neural pathways. And so the only thing I could think was I've been taking this for about 6 or 8 months, and that it's been able to allow me to create that and get that really focused concentration in on my brain that then translated over to doing better within the Muse app. So.
That is super cool. No, I love stuff like this. Like one of the things I've got is it's called Casina. Let me see what it's called. Casina Mind Place. So Casina Mind Place. And what I love about this thing is it's glasses, and they have these little multicolored LED lights inside them. And, so you shut your eyes when you're looking at these, and then it's also got earphones. So it'll play certain types of music, some with binaural beats or whatnot, but there's like 30 or 40 different tracks that you can listen to, whether you want to be energized or whether you want to be relaxed or whether you just want to like look like you're tripping out on acid. It doesn't matter. So these things will flicker. So this doesn't sense. This just allows you to witness. But I'll do that in the morning because like my morning meditation, the hardest part is I'll try to do it in the beginning. So I'll wake up like an hour and a half, 2 hours earlier. Right. I'll go out, I'll drink my water, splash some water on my face, and sit down on my couch or a chair to meditate. And if I do it totally without anything else, I find myself almost falling back asleep. Right? I'm sure you've experienced that. Like, yep. I'm too tired for this. I'm like, I'm not meditating. I'm just sleeping now. But I put those on, and it's really cool. But I love these kind of toys and tools. And if you think it's really good, I may just have to spend some money today and grab one.
For me, it's worked really well. Like I said, it's just, I've done other stuff like release meditation, which works good. You just kind of focus and say the word release and you're breathing. And, this kind of works similar. You hear it in the background you hear it, on your phone and, you're basically counting your breaths and everything, but it just helps you. I think just because it instantaneously within milliseconds, your brain activity, and it allows you, as soon as you start to hear it, you're like, man, I got to get it back. And you really start to focus because you drift off. And even when I meditate, you still kind of drift off somewhat. And for me, it's like, if I can get my focus and get my clarity and get that state that I want to get my brain in 5 minutes, that does awesome. And it just creates such a opening for my whole day from there on. So back to the morning routine, it was, adding that in really just multiplied the success and the quality of what I do every single morning. And so that working with entrepreneurs, getting them to do a morning routine as well as adding that part in as well has, created a significant change in the level of performance, the level of energy, the level of, mindset that, the entrepreneurs or high level achievers that I've worked with have been able to, accomplish and do.
Nice. So what else do you do with your morning routine? It's the meditation, exercise.
Meditation. I don't really have the time, or usually and my exercise is best for me around 1 p.m. So in the morning, I'll do something to get my blood moving, whether it's burpees, air squats, push-ups, just like a little quick mini routine. It takes 2 minutes at the most, maybe 5 minutes. Then after that, let's see. Some kind of breath scaling. So breath scaling is really getting your cells in your body moving, super oxygenating your system. And it's just really 20 fast breaths, deep, fast breaths in and out of the nose, slowly starting, then, faster, and then kind of back down. And that really just kind of gets the body supercharged. And then the kids would usually make some kind of super greens drink to, we have some protein in it, and just it's called Amazing Grass. It's probably been the best super greens drink that I've found. There's no sugars in it. It tastes great, and it helps. I get an immune version too with all the traveling and everything, and it helps keep my system going so I don't get sick throughout the year.
Nice.
And, some kind of immune drink. I've added recently. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I've added the kind of the whole green tea and Kerrygold butter program for the morning as well before I eat. So similar to what Dave Asprey talks about, but more what I guess Tim Ferriss has been.
Tim Ferriss talked about the
so that's worked really well too. Just from even like a brain standpoint, it's really helped from a clarity standpoint and stuff. And then just, making sure we have a healthy, nutritious breakfast, focus more, paleo kind of focus is what we eat. So
that's awesome. It really is amazing how sometimes what seems like the littlest thing is a morning routine. So many people really credit for their main success, and because they say, everything, that's the foundation. Everything stems from that. I know I got inspired to do this finally. I was interviewing, Dan Martell. I don't know if you know Dan, but he was on my podcast, a couple months ago, and we were talking about this. He said, that's really the secret is I do these things consistently, so those things allow me to do the other things I need to consistently and more clear, etc. So I said, well, screw it. If everybody else is doing it, I'm going to as well, and it absolutely works. So Josh, this has been awesome, and I hope that our connection and that our friendship lasts even further and continues on after this. And hopefully we'll see you at the Strategy and Execution Summit in Cleveland that we talked about in October. But where can people find out more information about you? Where can they go deeper down the rabbit hole and find out, what you're all about, join your mission, to help people kind of really perform higher in their lives, take it to the next level, have bigger, more successful businesses and lives? Where can they get more information on you?
Sure thing, Brad. Best place right now is website. So Josh Felber, F-E-L-B, is in boy, ER.com. There's tons of free content there. If you follow my page on Facebook, Josh Felber 10X, I think it is, on Facebook, I'm getting ready to start pushing out through my Facebook Live, is we're going to start doing a free millionaire mindset or millionaire growth training program. It's going to be 30 minutes either every Monday or Tuesday, and for the next 52 weeks, and we're going to talk about strategies and different things to help us, get to our first million or take us to that next million. And so that's going to be free through Facebook, through the Facebook Live video feed thing.
Nice.
And Twitter, I share a ton of content on Twitter. It's all free. Felber Josh, my last name, first name, as well. So.
That's awesome. And I love your little productivity cheat sheet there that you've got on joshfelber.com. I downloaded it. I love stuff like that. I always need that. I can be so scattered that I compensate with, things like that in order to help organize my day and my my crazy brain. But man, this has been great, Josh. I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show and to share some of the the wisdom and the strategies with my guests. If there's anybody on that top 100 list that I can help connect you with, I'm happy to do so.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it, Brad.
And for my listeners out there, if you've enjoyed this, go check out Josh at joshfelber.com. Share this episode and let me know what you liked most, what you want to hear more about. You can actually send me an email. You just ask Brad at baconwrapbusiness.com. And I love helping to solve problems and providing insights. So tell me what your biggest challenge is right now, whether you're sitting in a job that you don't like and trying to get out of it and not really sure what business model to follow or what the next steps are, and you're looking for the right resources. Or if you are running a business, you're making, you're grossing $1 million, $10 million, it doesn't really matter, even higher, and you're looking for ways to kind of get off that plateau, get unstuck, or even kind of stem the bleeding. I've got a great bag of tricks, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to help you if you want my help. So send me an email to askbrad at baconwrapbusiness.com. Also, go over to baconwrapbusiness.com/who are you. Tell me a little bit more about yourself and what you do for clients, what you do for other people, and help me get to know you better. Josh, once more, thank you very much for being on the show, and I look forward to connecting offline at some events and in person.
Awesome, Brad. I really appreciate the time and being able to share some great insight with your listeners, and I look forward to definitely connecting with you in the future here for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.